You know that feeling when everything seems just fine? Like your hometown is a place you could spend forever? The weather's nice, the food is great, and the vibe is good. But what if I told you that some of the most picturesque places in the country are actually hiding some of the worst living conditions? Crime, failing schools, healthcare nightmares. Sounds hard to believe, right? Let's take a closer look at the top 10 worst states to live in, and you might just be shocked by what's lurking beneath the surface. Number 10. Ohio. Ohio might be known for its die-hard sports fans, iconic landmarks like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and a rich history. But there's a darker side to this Midwestern state. While you might expect a booming job market, Ohio is facing stagnant job growth, leaving a lot of residents struggling financially. Cities like Cleveland are still dealing with the lingering effects of industrial pollution, which has seriously damaged air and water quality over the years. And then there's education, where the state's performance is slipping, especially in rural areas. Schools in these regions face major funding gaps, meaning many kids are missing out on the education they deserve. In places like Youngstown, you can see the scars of Ohio's economic decline, with neighborhoods in serious disrepair. The state may be full of charm, but it's clear that it's in desperate need of a revival. Number 9. Kentucky. Kentucky is famous for its bourbon, horse racing, and scenic beauty, but life here isn't as perfect as the brochures make it seem. Public health in the state is a major issue, with smoking rates still among the highest in the country. That leads to some grim statistics, like one of the highest lung cancer rates in the nation. Around 16% of Kentuckians live below the poverty line, which limits access to the basic things many of us take for granted: healthcare, good education, and job opportunities. The state's education system is severely underfunded, and the quality of schools varies greatly depending on where you live. Jobs are scarce in many parts of Kentucky, particularly in rural areas where opportunities are few and far between. Even in larger cities like Louisville, neighborhoods are struggling with crime, poverty, and a lack of resources. Kentucky's reputation might be built on tradition, but for many of its residents, the struggles are all too real. Number 8. West Virginia. West Virginia's breathtaking mountains might make it look like paradise from a distance, but once you take a closer look, you'll see that the state has some serious problems. The decline of the coal industry has hit the state hard, leaving many communities without jobs and leading to soaring unemployment rates. The opioid epidemic is another huge issue, with West Virginia reporting one of the highest overdose death rates in the entire country. Add to that the state's crumbling infrastructure, poorly maintained roads, outdated public services, and it's clear that West Virginia is struggling to keep up. Pollution from industrial activities also continues to harm both the environment and public health. In cities like Charleston, you can see the decline firsthand, with neighborhoods in disrepair and the economy showing no signs of recovery. West Virginia has its natural beauty, but the state faces serious challenges that can't be ignored. Number 7. Arkansas. Arkansas is known for its natural beauty, with rolling hills, rivers, and scenic lakes, but for many, life here is anything but picture perfect. With a poverty rate of 15.9%, Arkansas is one of the poorest states in the nation. This means that countless families are constantly battling to make ends meet. Rural areas face even more challenges, with scarce job opportunities and limited access to basic resources. Healthcare is another uphill battle. Many residents, especially in remote areas, have to travel long distances for medical care, and even then, the state's healthcare system is underfunded and struggling to meet demand. The state also has an obesity rate of over 36%, leading to widespread chronic illnesses like diabetes and heart disease, putting additional pressure on families and healthcare providers alike. Crime is another pressing issue. Urban areas such as Little Rock report crime rates higher than the national average, adding to the struggles faced by residents. Arkansas may have its natural charms, but its deeper challenges reveal a state in need of meaningful reform. Number 6. Missouri. Missouri boasts iconic landmarks like the Gateway Arch and the stunning Ozarks, but the challenges faced by its residents are hard to ignore. The state grapples with one of the highest violent crime rates in the nation, with St. Louis and Kansas City topping the list for unsafe urban areas. North St. Louis, in particular, is marked by deteriorating infrastructure and a persistent sense of neglect. Beyond crime, Missouri's healthcare system leaves much to be desired. Women's health is a glaring concern, with high maternal mortality rates and costs that make doctor visits unattainable for many. The economy isn't offering much relief either. The state's workforce ranks 49th nationally, stifling job opportunities and growth. And with voting restrictions adding barriers to civic participation, Missouri is a state where progress feels out of reach for many. Number 5. Oklahoma. Oklahoma's open skies and welcoming spirit make it seem like an idyllic place to call home, but the reality is more complicated. The state grapples with rising crime rates, particularly in cities like Oklahoma City and Tulsa. Violent crime has become a growing concern, leaving some neighborhoods feeling unsafe. Healthcare is another challenge. Nearly 20% of Oklahomans are uninsured, making access to essential medical services difficult for many. This lack of healthcare coverage contributes to poorer health outcomes across the state, particularly for low-income families. Education in Oklahoma also lags behind, with underfunded schools and high dropout rates. These issues leave many young Oklahomans ill-prepared for the workforce and future opportunities. While Oklahoma embodies the heartland's resilience, these persistent challenges make daily life difficult for many of its residents. Number 4. Alabama. Alabama might be famous for its southern hospitality, sweet tea, and charming landscapes, but it's also home to significant struggles. Obesity is a major health issue, with over 35% of adults classified as obese, contributing to chronic conditions like diabetes and heart disease. Crime is another concern, especially in urban areas like Birmingham. Violent crime rates remain alarmingly high, creating safety concerns for many communities. Meanwhile, Alabama's education system continues to face funding shortages and performance issues, particularly in lower-income areas where resources are limited. Despite its warm and inviting culture, Alabama faces systemic issues that hinder its ability to provide a better quality of life for its residents. Number 3. New Mexico. New Mexico's stunning desert landscapes and vibrant cultural heritage are undeniable. But life in the state comes with significant challenges. Crime rates, especially violent crime, are among the highest in the nation. Cities like Albuquerque frequently make headlines for their safety concerns, creating unease for many residents. Economic instability further adds to the state's struggles. With nearly 18% of its population living in poverty, New Mexico faces persistent financial challenges that make upward mobility difficult. Its education system also ranks among the worst in the country, with low graduation rates and underfunded schools leaving many students without the tools they need to succeed. While New Mexico's natural beauty and history are compelling, these underlying issues paint a much less idyllic picture for its residents. Number 2. Mississippi. Mississippi is often associated with its rich history and famous Southern hospitality, but it also has some of the most severe struggles in the country. As the poorest state in the U.S., nearly 20% of Mississippians live below the poverty line, creating challenges in nearly every aspect of daily life. Obesity is another pressing issue, with 39% of adults struggling with weight-related health problems that contribute to chronic conditions like diabetes and heart disease. Education in Mississippi is also in crisis, with underfunded schools, high dropout rates, and limited resources for students. Mississippi's cultural charm remains, but for many residents, the reality of living in the state is shaped by persistent poverty and systemic challenges. Finally, number 1, Louisiana. Louisiana's vibrant festivals, flavorful cuisine, and rich cultural traditions make it a standout state, but beneath the surface lie some of the most challenging living conditions in the nation. Nearly 20% of the population lives below the poverty line, giving Louisiana the highest poverty rate in the U.S. Healthcare access is another significant issue, with the state ranking last in quality and leaving many residents without essential medical care. On top of that, Louisiana's violent crime rates are among the highest in the nation, especially in cities like New Orleans, where safety is a major concern. While Louisiana's culture shines brightly, the struggles of poverty, crime, and poor healthcare cast a long shadow over daily life for its residents. And that's it for today's list. While these states have plenty to offer, the struggles their residents face can't be ignored. There's a lot of work to be done to improve the quality of life there. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this insightful, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below.